France versus Spain, a matchup of the Nations League semifinal, a matchup of the semifinal at the last Euros. These two teams have become the dominant forces of European football in the 21st century. What a game of football. Mbappe versus Lamine Yamal. Just all the crazy matchups we're going to see in this game. Exhilarating football. Two teams who want to score. We're in store for maybe an all-timer semifinal between these two teams. Lamine Yamal's already talking about they fear us. Well, we're going to find out if France really do fear this Spanish team. Welcome to the preview and prediction for France versus Spain of this year's semifinal. And we're going to do an individual video as well for Argentina versus England. So check that out here on the channel. But let's talk about it, people. What a game of football. I mean, if you told me this before the World Cup, I did predict this even before the World Cup that this would be the semifinal. I think many people had that, of course. This is the matchups we want to see. Of course, we love the underdog stories, but we want to see two titans go up against each other in the Colosseum. Let's just see. Even though, where is this game going to be played? Arlington? Really? Maybe this is the Colosseum of Arlington. When you think about these two teams and the matchup they've had the last couple of years, of course, the last Euros, the semifinals, that's where the stardom, the superstar guy that Lamine Yamal, that was his moment where he shined, scored that ridiculous goal off the post. Spain beat France. The game wasn't the greatest either there. France were just pathetic throughout those Euros, and that helped Spain go on to win the European Championship. And then we saw in the Nations League, 5-4. If we get anything close to that game, we're in store for just one of the greatest World Cup games of all time. And then we kind of look at what's been unfolding at this World Cup. France have been by far the most dominant team. They look like easily the best team at this World Cup. You could say that, Argentina have looked good in moments, England have looked good in moments, Spain have looked good in moments. France, since the second half against Senegal, have just been a juggernaut. The scoring of Mbappe, the playmaking of Olise, the dangerous wing play of Dembele to do it to Barcola. The midfield is actually looking very good with Rabiot, who's going under the radar so far at this World Cup, alongside either Manu Kone or Tchouaméni. And again, I'm going to talk about the two center-backs, Upamecano and Saliba, have been fantastic. So France have been imperious. It just seems like they're on a roll and nothing can stop them. But there's one team that could stop them and maybe has their money in the last couple of years, and that is Spain. Spain have not looked great at this World Cup. They've shown some moments where they're really sluggish in their play, really just pass heavy with their build-up play. But they have those elements to hurt this France team. They have a superstar player like Lamine Yamal. They have a midfield that can combat the physicalness of a France midfield. Also, the pressing that France have been doing a lot at this World Cup. Spain have the element to beat this France team, but they're going to have to play an exceptional game. They're going to need exceptional performances from Cubarsí to Laporte to a Cucurella again, to a Pedro Porro or Llorente who will play in that right back position, most likely Pedro Porro. And they're going to need Alex Baena to really step up here. The one thing that Spain have had the last couple of years against this France team is they have Lamine Yamal and they have a fresh and fit Nico Williams. And we saw in the Nations League how good Nico Williams was against France. Now that he's dealing with the injury, he's obviously going to have to be an impact sub. Is that going to affect the play here for Spain? Alex Baena, he's a very good player. He's just not a winger. This guy is more of a left 10, a cam, and it just doesn't look the most fearless out on the wing. And that's going to be an issue here against this France team that they love to push up forward, but the one thing they don't do is they don't put their fullbacks in dangerous positions. Sometimes you'll see Digne really go forward, playing in that sort of inverted midfielder role, and then Koundé kind of slots in as the third center back. Koundé, you can barely see him going forward. It's just Dembele who's creating out on the wing. You're going to need Lamine Yamal to really step up, and we can see that he's not really in the most fit of form right now, and he's kind of struggling with his play. He had some good moments against Belgium, but not consistent for the 90 minutes. This is the moment. You're talking the smack before the game in Lamine Yamal. You got to deliver against this France team. Because France, this is a dream matchup, I think, for them. This is a game where there's going to be a lot more space to operate. They're not going up against Paraguay, who are going to sit in a low block. They're not playing against Morocco, that were also set up in a low block. This is a game where France can take advantage of the space in behind and in the midfield. And look at the way Manu Kone and Rabiot, they're consistently winning the ball in the midfield. And this is where France have been struggling against Spain the last two matchups. Is the midfield is getting absolutely absolutely overrun and cooked. And while France are trying to press high up the field, they just can't because Spain would just beat them with a couple passes and they're through on goal. This is now where Manu Kone, Rabiot, or Tchouaméni, they have to play exceptional games. They got to keep a guy like Rodri quiet. What does Luis de la Fuente do in the midfield where Pedri has not been in his best form at this World Cup? He was benched against Belgium. Does Luis de la Fuente go with a Pedri, a Rodri, a Daniel Olmo midfield? Does he start again Fabian Ruiz? These are the question marks that Luis de la Fuente is going to have in this matchup. But I mean, what a game of football. You want to talk about superstars. You want to talk about exciting attacking play. France will provide that. Spain will also provide that in different ways. You know, France are a lot more speed, transition, attacking flair. Spain are a little bit more methodical in their approach, a little bit slower. It's still a beautiful sight to see. So this is where, you know, superstars are made. World Cup semifinal. These are the moments we always remember. But I always caution people, while France are looking amazing right now and highly, highly big plaudits to them because they have sort of saved this World Cup in the sense of how good they're playing in the attacking play and with the form of Mbappe. This kind of reminds me of the 2010 World Cup. Remember that World Cup, people? Germany were flying. They were scoring 4 goals, and then they went up against Spain. And Spain were sort of similar to this team right now in 2026. A little bit slow, a little bit passive play. They had that guy like David Villa who would step up in those big moments. And what happened in the semifinal, people? Puyol scored the winner, and they only won 1-0 in the game. I wonder if it's a similar storyline here between this France team that look imperious, unstoppable, nothing can stop them, and then they go up against the Spain team, and then Spain, maybe they score with a set-piece goal, maybe it's Kubarsi flying high, maybe he gets the beautiful locks like he's Puyol and scores a header from a corner, and they win 1-0 Spain. That would be crazy, by the way. I don't really see that happening in this game, that Spain win 1-0, but it's just a similar storyline here that Spain are looked down upon. Everybody was talking about them pre-tournament winning the World Cup. Same thing as in 2010. They haven't looked great, but they just find a way. Is this going to be a similar storyline here in 2026? And then, of course, you'll have to look at a guy like Kylian Mbappe. The form he is in. I mean, how do you stop this guy? How? Like, Kubarsi needs to play an exceptional game. Same thing for Laporte. If those two can keep Kylian Mbappe quiet, Spain have a chance of winning this matchup. But this is it. We talk about always the matchups, this sort of style going up against that sort of style. Can France get revenge after the last 2 matchups in the Nations League and Euros? This is now the moment for this French team to keep the doubters quiet, saying, oh, you know what, Spain, they're your bogey team. You can't beat them. It would feel a little bit sort of gut-wrenching, I think, for this France team that have been so good, Didier Deschamps' last dance, to lose to Spain again for a 3rd straight time in 3 years. Oof, that's not going to look great, I think, for this French team who have looked great. And they are by far the best team. I just think people are underestimating this Spain team. I get it. They have not played the best football. They haven't looked so glorious. They haven't been scoring 3 goals a game or 4 goals a game. They haven't been absolutely annihilating every opponent with 25 shots and 7 shots on target. And you're just saying, wow, the opposing goalkeeper is making amazing saves. Like, look at the last 2 games. Late winner against Portugal, Mikel Merino. Late winner against Belgium, Mikel Merino off a mistake from Lamens. Spain are just having those moments to collect the wins, but they're going to need their bench as well to step up. Again, Mikel Merino, you're looking at a guy like maybe Pedri coming off the bench, or this could be a game where Borja Iglesias could be a viable solution off the bench if Spain is losing, because then you just got to put in crosses. Then there's not a real aerial threat from the beginning, obviously, with Orizabal. And for France, they got the bench options as well, whether it's a Baracola, even a Mateta, if you just want to put in crosses, because that's the one thing this Spain team are very much lacking, is they cannot deal with crosses. Laporte and Kubarsi, very much defenders who want to play on the front foot, just play face on with the attackers. But if you put crosses into the box, that's where they really do struggle, as you saw with the Belgium goal. There's so many different elements. People are going to try and call this weakness, that weakness. People are going to say France are the best by far. What a game. Prediction-wise, so difficult to call, but there's just something about it where I do believe France are by far the best team at this World Cup, and they have played the best football. But people are seriously underestimating this Spain team. Maybe this is the game where Lamine Yamal, he hasn't had a lot of goals or assists at this World Cup. Maybe this is his moment to get that goal in the biggest moment possible? Are we looking at a shootout? Are we looking at a more tactical game? Didier Deschamps going back into what he really knows, which is a bit more of a defensive shape. If I'm Didier Deschamps, don't go away to what's been working at this World Cup. You have been pressing so well, even Mbappe's pressing well. Don't go away from what's been working. If you do, you're just disrespecting your own team and not putting huge faith into them. I think Luis de la Fuente, he's not going to be scared of France. He's going to keep playing the same way. And that's why I think Spain win this game. I know they have not played good. Maybe it's a prisoner of the moment, but there's just something about this Spain team where this is the matchup where they really show up. They've had not a very difficult road. They've obviously beat Portugal, they beat Belgium, they beat Austria. They've gone through all of they're basically conquering Europe. Now, can they colonize France here in this matchup? I'm going Spain winning. I think it's going to be high scoring though. I just cannot trust this Spain defense to keep France quiet. I think France now really are going up against a difficult test here with this Spain attack. I'm going to go with a 3-2 win here for Spain. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be an all-timer game. There's probably going to be some mistakes here. Upamecano has been really good at this World Cup. He made that little small mistake against Morocco, almost scoring the own goal. This is, though, where Lamine Yamal can show up. I think also Nico Williams off the bench, if he comes in like minute 60, he's going to bring that real impact and giving another thought here to Koundé defensively. I'm going to go with Spain winning 3-2. This is the mouth-watering game of the World Cup. And I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, people. What is the key to victory for each side? Which player really needs to step up for each team? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for more World Cup content. And remember, I'll be dropping the Argentina-England preview and prediction on a separate video. Follow me on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, join the Discord, all those links, description down below. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time, adios.